Hello everyone. Today we will learn about, is matter around us pure? First of all, let us try to understand what is matter. Everything in the universe is made up of materials which scientists have named matter. The air we breathe, the food we eat, stones, clouds, stars, plants, and animals, even a small drop of water or a particle of sand, everything is matter. So we can say that everything we see around us has mass and volume. On the basis of physical state of matter, they are classified in the three states we are learning from our lower standards, that are solid, liquid and gaseous. On the basis of chemical composition of matter, it can be classified into two, pure and mixture. Now what is pure mixture or what are pure substances? A pure substance is a homogeneous material with definite or invariable chemical compositions and physical and chemical properties are fixed. A pure substance consists of one and only one type of atom or molecules. On the basis of their chemical composition, pure substances are classified into elements and compounds. So, some examples of pure substances are copper, oxygen, gold, chlorine, diamond. Now, what is mixture? A mixture contains more than one substances mixed in any random proportion. Mixtures are constituted by one or more than one kind of pure form of matter known as substances. Substances cannot be separated into their kinds of matter by any physical process. For example, gas and gas like nitrogen and oxygen in the atmosphere. A solution like water and oil. If we mix water and oil, then they cannot be separated by any physical form like filtration or so. They have different chemical processes to separate oil and water. Now next, see some examples. Here you can see that gold metal, copper wire, sugar, salt, hydrogen gas, diamond, etc. are some examples of pure matter. Now of mixture. Here you can see an example of salad and some balls and like stones. Now mixture can be classified into again further two things. The first is homogeneous mixture, the second is heterogeneous mixture. Now what is homogeneous mixture? A mixture which has uniform composition and properties throughout its mass is called a homogeneous mixture. That means any solution or any mixture that is same throughout its physical state is known as homogeneous mixture. Some of examples of homogeneous mixture are air, most of the alloys and bitumen are examples of homogeneous mixture. Now heterogeneous mixture. A mixture which has a different composition and properties in different parts of their mass is called a heterogeneous mixture. Some examples of heterogeneous mixture are sand, oil and water, chicken, noodles, soup. A heterogeneous mixture means that a mixture in which two different compositions or two different matters can be seen through naked eyes are known as heterogeneous mixture. Now some examples of homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. You can see here a tomato juice. You can see it is same throughout its solution. A mango juice. Here you can see a heterogeneous mixture as a dry fruit mixture. Here you can see that some of the different dry fruits. Here sand and salt. Here you can see that sand and salt can be seen through the naked eye. Now, what is solution? A homogeneous mixture of two or more substances which are chemically non-reacting, whose composition can be varied within certain limits, is called a solution. And a solution is made up of solute and solvent. Now what is solute? A substance which gets dissolved in a solvent is called solute. That means in any solution, the thing or the substance which is in lesser quantity is known as solute. And what is solvent? A substance in which a solute gets dissolved is called solvent. That means a solvent is in a larger amount. For example, if we take salt and water mixture, you can see that the salt is the solute and water is solvent, because salt is in lesser quantity and solvent is in higher quantity. Now, properties of solution. A solution is a homogeneous mixture. The particles cannot be seen through naked eyes. The solute particles cannot be separated by filtration. The solute particles do not settle down and the solution is stable. That means when we dissolve salt in water, the salt particles do not get settled down, so therefore it cannot be separated by filtration. The particles do not scatter a beam of light passing through it, and the path of light is not visible through solution. Now, concentration of solution. The concentration of solution depends upon the nature of the solute and the solvent, and also on the proportion of the dissolved solute. A solution which has high quantity of solute is said to be concentrated solution, and a solution which has comparatively less quantity of solution is said to be a dilute solution. For example, if I take salt and water, the less amount of salt is in the water is less salty, and as I increase the amount of salt, it becomes more salty. That means it is a concentrated solution, and when it is less salt, it is a dilute solution. Also, the concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present in given amount of solution, or the amount of solute dissolved in a given mass or volume of solvent. Also, when I take a salt water mixture, when I dissolve 1 tablespoon of salt in 1 glass of water, it gets fully dissolved in it. That solution is known as unsaturated solution, because more amount of salt can be dissolved in water. When I go on adding salt in water, there comes a time when no salt can be dissolved in it. That point or that solution is known as saturated solution, because no more solute can be dissolved in the solution. Next, when I go on adding more and more salt, the particles of salt can be seen through a naked eye. So that solution is known as supersaturated solution, and that solution becomes unstable and the particles can be seen in crystalline form. So, an unsaturated solution means a solution in which more quantity of solute can be dissolved without raising its temperature is called an unsaturated solution. And a saturated solution means in which more solute cannot be dissolved at that temperature is called a saturated solution. Now, factors affecting solubility. Factors affecting solubility include nature of solute, solvent, temperature and pressure. First of all, what is nature of solute? Different solutes have different solubility in the same solvent. For example, if I take salt and baking soda, and if I try to dissolve salt and baking soda in water, salt gets dissolved better than baking soda. So I can say that different solutes have different solubility in same solvent. Now, what is nature of solvent? Iodine dissolves better in alcohol than in water. Hence, iodine has higher solubility in alcohol than in water. Now, effect of pressure increase. In solids and liquids, the effect of temperature increases the solubility of the solution, while in gas it decreases. If I increase the pressure, solids and liquids have very little amount of change and gases have higher amount of change. So I can say that the solubility of solids and liquids usually increases on increasing the temperature and decreases on decreasing the temperature. The solubility of solids in liquids remains unaffected by the change of pressure. The solubility of gases and liquids usually decreases on increasing the temperature and increases on decreasing the temperature. The solubility of gases in liquids increases on increasing the pressure and decreases on decreasing the pressure. Now, we will learn about calculating the concentration of solution. We know that concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present in given quantity of solution. So, the concentration of solution can be calculated in three ways: mass by mass percentage of a solution, mass by volume percentage of a solution, and volume by volume percentage of solution. So, they have their respective formulas. We will understand them through some examples. So, our first example is a solution contains 40 gram of common salt in 320 gram of water. Calculate the concentration in terms of mass by mass percentage of a solution. As here you can see that both the given quantities are in grams. So this sum will be calculated in mass by mass concentration of solution. So let's see the solution. Mass of solute, that is salt, is 40 gram. Mass of solvent, that is water, is 320 grams. Also mass of solution will become mass of solute plus mass of solvent. So 40 gram plus 320 gram is equals to 360 gram. Now mass percentage of solution is equals to mass of solute upon mass of solution into 100. We will always calculate the percentage in terms of the total solution with respect to the given quantity. So it becomes 40 by 360 because we have to calculate the mass of solute to the mass of solution. So 40 by 360 into 100, which is 11.11%. Next is Rashida dissolved 40 gram of sugar in 600 ml of sugar solution. Calculate the mass by volume percentage. We know that the quantity which is in lesser amount is solute and the quantity which is in higher amount is solvent. So 40 gram of sugar is solute and 600 ml of sugar solution is solvent. So mass by volume percentage is equals to mass of solute upon volume of solution into 100. So we are clearly given that mass of solute is 40 gram and volume of solution is 600 ml. And we will multiply it by 100. So our answer is 6.66%. So mass by volume percentage is 6.66%. Our next sum is determine the volume by volume percentage solution made by combining 25 ml of ethanol with enough water to produce 200 ml of the solution. So our solution is given parameters are volume by solute is 25 ml. Volume of solution is 200 ml. Substitute the values of the given formula in volume percentage is equals to volume of solute by volume of solution into 100. So we will get 25 by 200 into 100. So our answer is 12.5%. So hence we learned how to calculate the concentration of solution by three methods: mass by mass, mass by volume, and volume by volume. Thank you, and if you have any doubts, comment in the comment section.